Hello, good people. Kisisi Podcast hapa. The year of our Lord is 2026. It's the first episode I'm doing, and I'm very happy to launch this lovely mini episode. So the first thing first, I had promised last year that I was going to switch basically the kind of content I'm doing, because I remember when I started uko nyuma, the beginning in 2023, I gave myself to, because of my visual impairment, I just gave myself to be doing content for only persons with visual impairment. But with the time now, I think I have enlightened them enough. I think now they're in good hands. They can wanaendelea kutoka hapo. So for moving forward, now I'll be doing content for can it be the main disability? What am I saying? Basically, like the whole spectrum of disability. Now I'll be onboarding them. And God will bless us as we move forward. So having said that, today I'm very honored to have Adosh grace my first in quotes a mainstream podcast. Welcome, Adosh.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Great. I remember we first met kwa AMF, Africa Media Festival.
Oh, yes, we did.
That was 2023, isn't it?
That was 2023, yeah.
Yeah, so by that time, I was only just doing content using my phone. Nilienda nikabeka tripod.
Oh my God.
Na kalapel. So hiyo ndo nilikuwa nafanya content hapo, ndio passion ilikuwa imenifikisha. So the time nikakuja, then I came and met you guys. That is the AMF that usually organize annually at the Museum Hill, right? And from there I was able also to link with Semabox, and the rest is history. I think the quality of the content I do now, it speaks for itself.
Sema kujituma.
Sindio? Kama mtumwa.
Yeah, I remember when we met. Actually, unajua, the Africa Media Festival is usually a very high energy, high intense kind of environment. But then we just clicked instantly, and then we started talking about like the festival, the podcast that you're doing, and very other different things that I can say on the podcast. But like we just, we became friends, and I'm so happy that, the quality of your content has really, leveled up. So shout out for that. But also just the different other things that we are doing together. I'm super happy that we get to work together. Great.
Now I think at this juncture, maybe you can introduce yourself to our audience, like what you do with Baraza, and yes, and of course the energy you have thrown behind AMF.
Yes. Okay, so my official enyeko kwa ID
ni
M-Pesa ni Cynthia Adongo, but I go by Adosh here at Baraza and in my different spaces that I interact with other people. I am the marketing and communications lead here at Baraza, but I am also a writer. And recently just began learning how to play the guitar, so I'm an instrumentalist as well.
Hello.
So yeah, I wear many hats in the creative industry. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Great. Yeah. Maybe you can share with us, like, how have you? Now that we are, of course, I enable the disabled. So like maybe you can share with us like AMF and Baraza, like how you have been, basically how you have enabled this community of ours. Yeah.
So the AMF, which is like the Africa Media Festival, the very first edition was in 2023. That edition was themed Reimagining Media. So if you remember back in 2023, discussions around the evolving technologies, the new media versus traditional media conversations were just starting to happen. So after that edition, now it just dawned on us just how important this festival is, both to the media community and also the creative community. So on the second edition now is when we really started paying close attention to how inclusive we are being in the festival. So number one, is it possible, or how possible is it for people to access this venue? Because first things first, you have to be there, right? So the venue, is it wheelchair friendly, right? What are we doing in terms of like people who need assistance to get to the venue if you're coming with an extra person, right? If you're hard of hearing, do we have like sign language interpreters? So that definitely is a factor that we had to consider. Installation of ramps, making sure that the ramps that are already existing are properly maintained, and as well as having like quiet, serene environments. So for people who get really overwhelmed during this, so people who have neurodivergent tendencies, right? Unapata saa zingine, like I said in the beginning, it's a very high energy environment. Sometimes you just need a moment to cool down, to quiet down. So we have spaces like that, right? And also a very important part of this is making sure not only that we are not guessing these things, right? So for example, unaona kama when we started working together, it was like, yeah, I know we need ramps, I know do we need what, but like having conversation, having these people with disabilities actually in the planning sessions is super, super important.
Yeah, speaking, like we speaking for ourselves,
exactly.
And like we're being represented.
Yes,
yeah.
It's incredibly important to have you guys there, just so that we make sure that in as much as, you know, we are considering you guys, but what do you actually specifically need? So those are just some of the few but very important things that we're working on to make sure the event is very inclusive.
Oh, that's great. So
Yeah.
I think that one you were speaking from the past experiences we've had, right? And of course this year, or of course we're also going to have the AMF. They're happening this month, from the 25th and 6th at the museum. Is the museum what?
The Nairobi National Museum.
Correct. Or in Kipande Road, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so where can they find the tickets maybe?
The tickets are available at africamediafestival.org, right?
Yes.
So individual tickets right now are going for 4,000 shillings.
Yes.
And then the students and the PWD tickets are going for 2,000 shillings.
Great.
Yeah.
So with the past experiences we've had, now with, of course, now persons with disability, and now you are planning to, of course, to make the sessions to be inclusive for them. What are some of the adjustments you've made this year and like the other years, for these good people?
I wouldn't really call it adjustments. I would say it's just a basic part of planning, really. So we've had some site visits with you.
Now, when you say site visit,
oh yes, so site visit is where we go to the venue and walk through the user experience.
I guess mine were touch visits.
Girl, so
subhanallah.
you know what? Yeah, some of the conversations we have with you, I don't know if we can have them on camera, but like, yeah, we have the site stroke touch visits. So where we walk through the journey, right?
Yeah.
The attendee journey from the point where you are registering or signing into the event, to the point where you experience the different breakout rooms, to the point where you leave. Right. So I would say the experience of, or rather the side stroke touch visit that we had with you was really impactful, because now we got to actually witness or see or experience what it was like for you as a person who is blind, right?
Correct.
Una sign in aje. Do you need your phone and your virtual assistant? Do you need to have a guide with you? And then how do you get to the main session? How do you get to the plenary main stage? How do you get to the other different breakout rooms?
Correct.
How do you get to your refreshments? How do you get to your networking sessions? So that was super, super important. And then the other thing is we also had this session, this visit with a guy called Brian.
Correct.
So shout out to Brian, where we got to have his, he uses a wheelchair. So now we got to see how effective the ramps that we are installing and the ones that are already existing, the the washrooms, how is that experience like for them? And eventually with your consultation and your feedback, we were able to ensure that whatever planning, whatever structures we set up are suitable and are fit for everyone to use, including even just entering the museum. So we have even extra assistance. We have, actually, can I just say how grateful I am that we have people who are volunteering.
Please.
People are volunteering just to be there, not only to be in the presence of fellow peers, creatives, and journalists, but also just making sure that the people who attend this festival get something. It's not just being there for the sake of being there, right? So making sure, like, if you're hard of hearing and you have sign language interpretation, take. If you're blind, you have a guide who will tell you up and tuna sign in, up and your main stage, uku ndio breakouts, up and pali tuna, because pia kukula. As someone who is very I'm a foodie, guys, so so those are just like I said, not adjustments, is basic parts of planning that actually should be incorporated in any event, if you ask me.
Great. I think you people should be given your flowers.
Thank you so much.
Seeing that you are including the immediate beneficiaries, you include them in the planning, so that whatever they'll be getting, basically it will meet the needs that we have, of course. So at this juncture, I'll also like to inquire, what do we about the speakers? Do we have, like last year, I understand we had, is it black albinism?
Yes.
Yeah, we had the black albinism. I'm sorry I did not attend that session, but I was told it took place, and I thought that was a very good thing, that we can also have like individuals with disabilities also taking part and sharing the experiences, seeing it's a creative environment. And I think since you are bringing the issue of inclusivity, also having us as well speakers is also very important. So this year, do we have any towards that direction? Where
Yes, so what you're gonna see in the next couple of days, we are in the process of just rolling out the announcement for all the speakers who are gonna be there.
Great.
I really wanted Alan, who is a part of the founder, the director for the Black and Albinism Project, to be part of this as well.
Oh, great.
This time he may be joining us as an attendee, not necessarily as a speaker.
Great.
But the other aspect of inclusivity that I think I just, if you allow me to mention, is not only making sure people with disabilities are speaking or telling their own stories, but also making sure the other people, like underrepresented voices.
Yes.
Right? So
correct.
if it's people who don't have access, right? So maybe, for example, is let's say I'm a creative from Kibera.
Correct.
I know AMF is happening where I can meet like researchers, technologists, funders, and people like that.
Correct.
So this is the place where they're gonna be with them, right?
True.
And the other aspect of inclusivity we can talk about is just making sure the underrepresented voices are there. We have an equally balanced gender, speaker panel for all the sessions.
Great.
So, it's gonna be a space for everyone and to talk about everything media and journalism related. So you're definitely gonna see more of that, not only in this edition but even in the coming editions.
Yes. This is a stamp that we are not only putting this year but moving forward.
Absolutely.
It's a very serious So up to this juncture, I don't know if you are please, you can maybe correct me. I understand that you've got a challenge with your ear. Is that okay if I could go that direction, maybe?
Yes.
Share. Okay,
yes.
Great. So maybe you can share with us, like, okay, of course, now you see, for most of my audience, they've only been getting content primarily for blind individuals, like, right? So, like, I would like to hear, like, at least hiyo unaweza angalia kwa kamera, sio kwa umetulenga tu. Sisi tuko na eye contact with people.
Yes.
So so like maybe you can, for a few moments, that before we end the episode, you can just share with how has been your journey. And you see, for every I think for every disabled person, kuna ile place mtu anafikanga anasema like, okay, for lack of a better word, fuck it.
Yes.
As in, like, life must happen, with or without, right?
Yes.
So maybe you can just share with us, and maybe also share with us your eureka moment.
Oh my goodness, where do you think? Okay, let me start from the beginning. This is a Kisisi exclusive. So this is not a story you're gonna see anywhere else.
Only in Kisisi.
But like, I'm actually glad that you gave me the opportunity to talk about this, because in an ideal or in a different world, when someone meets me or looks at me, you can't really tell I have a disability, right?
Correct.
So it's actually some time back, when I was in university, I woke up and I felt different. Because the previous day I was hanging out with my friends and we were having a good time. So the next day when I woke up, and at that time I was living with my roommate who's called Linda. So I woke up and I couldn't hear what Linda was saying. Like, I woke up and the first thing I usually say is, oh, hi, good morning, how is everything? And I couldn't hear what she was saying. So I was freaking out, right? Like,
am I dreaming?
This is an insane experience to have at 8 a.m. in the morning. Mind you, niko mbali na wazazi. So, and I'm just a young girl. Like, I don't even know what's going on. At the time, I thought maybe it's like an infection or something. Or if you've kama unajua kuswim ama umeswim, unajua saa zingine kuna hiyo. So nilidhani ni hiyo, but then it lasted the entire day, and then I was starting to get concerned, right? So I called.
So as in you couldn't hear, like,
I could not completely. No, I could hear like okay, from a distance. Ni kama mtu anaongea, ni kama amesimama huko na mko na niko naye hapa. So naambia ebu like, you must have been alarmed, right? It was insane. That's the only way I can describe. Like, it was, I felt like I was losing my mind.
You must.
Yeah, so I called my parents, and then I had to leave school and visit specialists and whatnot, and that's when I was officially diagnosed with a hearing impairment.
Okay. And
at the time, I don't know, even right now I'm sure it's extremely expensive, even just for the consultation visit. And we were really struggling, but my mom and my dad, my late mom, may soul rest in peace.
Sorry for that.
She actually just held my hand through it all. She was really, like, reassuring, like, niko hapa na wewe. Nisiposikia vitu, unajua, the other thing with people who have the same disability as myself is we get really shy when you're asking, ebu ati umesema? Ati what?
You don't have those many moments of the ati moments.
Yeah, so she was really reassuring. Sikuwa nasikia naogopa kuuliza arudie chenye anasema nini.
Great.
It actually took me a whole year to make peace with the fact that this was my life now. And luckily also the specialist I visited at the time, I had to do a couple of visits, just to make sure the device that I got was working well.
Great.
It was programmed well.
Well tuned.
Yes. And I still have to go to those visits. Kwanza, at the time, let me tell you, your hearing device ilikuwa inakaa ni kama it was covering your entire ear.
Ile unakaa niko unatembea na simu.
Uwezi feature, bro.
Uko kanisa but una churchish.
Yeah, and I remember I had to sit for exams, and because na unajua, I don't even want to say the school I was in at that time, but unajua venye situation exams inakuanga unajiseti kwa a strategic position, ndio kama labda unasikia mwenzako anasema
just in case
just in case too. This is Allegedly, by the way, allegedly. So I had to sit for exams, and I was so unlucky at the time because hata nijiweke wapi hakuna kitu nitasikia. And also I think I want to say ignorance at the time. My lecturers pia wako wana understand hiki ni kini. Mbona unaingia na headphones kwa exam room?
Surely.
Nataka kutransmit, so I had to constantly explain that easy scene, it's just a hearing aid. Yeah, so basically that has been my journey, but saizi with all the evolving digital technologies and whatnot,
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to have gotten like a smaller device. A smaller device, you can barely see it, but you can still see it. But I ni kama niko na headphones. Aichachishi manze. Yeah.
Great. At this point, hapo kwa kuchachisha, by the way, Buni ulize, just allow me to ask this question. Like, for we person with disability, do you think like the limitations that usually come across within the society, like, is it the society that is limiting us, or we end up limiting ourselves?
I think the society, and I'm not placing blame on anyone.
Okay.
But you see how people have to actively remember, you know, Mokaya haiziona.
Yeah.
So lazima sijui nifanye nini. But we are so othered, enye tumezoea to a point that hata sisi we're not comfortable, but sasa we just make do.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Sindio?
I get what you're
like
saying.
Unajua, and allow me to use this analogy.
Yes.
If you look at most of the things that we use in daily life, hata milango, sijui nini, most of them are right-handed.
Yes.
So mtu mwenye ako left-handed, and I wanna say this because
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, you know, mtu mwenye ako left-handed has to
get it right.
Okay. Has to get it right. And I'm only saying this because just the other day I was talking to another instrumentalist who is left-handed. Na unajua guitar lazima play na hii side na your right side na your right hand. So she had to learn the other different way, which is, it's so difficult already learning an instrument. So could learn the instrument alafu having to learn it in your own way. So we are so othered paka tumezoea tu. Unacheki sasa mtu kama mimi, I have to be like, even when we were setting up this podcast, I had to be like, I have to sit on this side, ama sijui nini. That doesn't usually happen. So if you don't speak up, it's just gonna go unnoticed. Okay. So to blame, to answer your question, is both on us and the society. And that's why we need more of us to speak up.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it's just another Tuesday for them, honestly. And you can't even blame them because usiponiambia hapa ndio kiatu inanifinya. Especially, you know, for people whose disability is not visible.
Yes.
So kama wewe utumi wheelchair, so mtuwezi ona.
Unaona tunakuja tu na naingia kwa kioo. Hivi.
Unagonga tu kioo hapa. So we actually have to both participate in making sure that kila mtu, this accessibility is balanced and ensured in every aspect of our lives.
Great. I like the way you said it. Like, we are so othered. Like should we change from that na tukue tu, like, we just focus on ourselves, just we tu jijue and know what you are about and just do your thing and live maybe how you want to be, okay, and leave the other business.
To be honest, no. I think we need to break out of these two circles that we have, because it's easier to connect with someone who has the same disability as you.
Great.
It's easier. It's not uncomfortable. It's not inconvenient.
True.
But sasa, what does that mean kama unataka kukula happy mahali na uwezi fika hapo juu kona wheelchair? You're also a human being. You also deserve enjoy, right? So we really have to not only speak up, but be a part of the change. Yeah, be a part of the change. We wanna do what
we want, basically, right?
Yeah, because if you don't, then how else am I going to know I need to make my entrances wider for people with wheelchairs to access, or I need to have let's say like I need to have access, I need to have, if it's a ticketing event, I need to have a space, or rather that allows someone who can't see or someone who can't hear the space to come with their own guides.
Great.
I need to have sign language. Kwanza sign language interpretation inafaa kwa basic. Hata ufai kufikiria.
Like sign language with technology nowadays. So like if you have your phone,
Yes.
like maybe it can.
Yeah, kuna hizo inaitwa auto captions ama the CCs. Very simple technologies. I mean, most of them are still developing because
Okay.
The technology right now does not recognize our Kenyan accents or the African accents. So it's still shembeteng bana haishiki. So lazima we have to continue, and that is also a call out maybe to people living with disabilities who are in the tech space.
Yes.
Because najua kuna hiyo story ya machine learning enye they don't involve people with disabilities.
Yeah, correct.
So captions inakuja tu hapo, unaitwa huyu mtu wa Google Maps anasemanga je, going to Kenyatta Road, heading towards, basic small things like that. Yeah.
Great. So I think hope sijakuelewa vibaya, but if I got you right, you're like, we should not be ashamed of our limitations.
No. Yeah, we should not be ashamed, especially because as a human being, our bodies are already limited in some ways, one way or the other, right? So it's not, you can, we are already limited, right?
Wow.
So as a person living with disability, you are limited to a higher level than someone who doesn't have a disability.
Great.
So it should not be a conversation of shame, shying away from saying, you know what, actually
I maybe need this accommodation.
I need this,
right?
I need this for me to be able to fully experience this to its capacity. This is what I need. So speak up for your needs. It should not be an inconvenience to anyone. It should be the beginning, inafaa kwa hapo kwa planning. Ndio tuna accommodate kila mtu.
Kweli.
Yeah.
Wow. Like the point you have say, okay, actually, let me just switch it this way. So there's this lady on TikTok the other day, I think earlier this week, her name is, I think, Madam President. I don't know if you came across her, or maybe we don't know, maybe the name. She was like telling basically speaking out like, you parents, you mean like you usually told by the doctor if maybe you are nini?
I had that.
I saw
that video.
You heard? Great.
I saw that video.
Great. So I like the fact that na feel nisho react. So so maybe you can use stuff that we are limited. You see, according to her, like maybe a kid with disability anafaa kurudishwa tu kwa baba immediately. But so we are just saying that we all are limited. Si atu one like juu amekuja that yeye ndiye atakuwa limited the more, right? Maybe what's your reaction to that?
My reaction will be from a point where the life already exists.
Okay, the sacredness of life.
Like, okay, ushaza, ama you've already had your baby.
Yes.
And ako disabled.
Yes.
Hapo ndo nitaanzia kureact. Siwezi react ya hii point ingine ya, when the doctor tells you and whatnot.
Okay.
But I want to react from a point of you already have a disabled child. And disability venye ulisema ni spectrum. Could be physical, could be mental, because kuna pia watu wako na autism, kuna nini.
Yeah.
But the child is already here, right? So it's really upon yourself. Kuna some act in the constitution yenye nasema kila mtu ako na the right to life. Unless the law umeenda jela or something, right? It's upon you as a parent to take it upon yourself, number one, to make sure usha diagnose mtoto wako na this kind of disabilities. Is she or he getting the care that she needs, right? So for example, if your child is deaf, haizi enda shule zingine because huko hakuna watu wanafundisha sign language and whatnot. But anafaa kuwa na same learning experience. If your child has autism anaenda kwa special school fulani kama kona albinism akona blindness and what, it's upon you to make sure that this child doesn't feel like, you know, kama kona siblings ama friends, they're living a better life than I am. I don't think that should be the case, right? And I do understand that life is different for everyone, but you as a parent in the capacity that you can, una make sure aje your child ana live the life that to the best, the best life, acha say living their best life, right? Afai kufeel sasa hata niko kwa even in your own home, right? You can't even, if you're using a wheelchair, you can't even use the washroom properly without assistance.
Uko kwenu,
right?
Hey.
In
Charity. It is not homing.
Charity begins at home. Inafaa kuanzia hapo. Alafu unajua in the early development stages, ukisha mtoto akishajua like this is the experience, like this is the way I'm supposed to be living. Even maybe when they grow up, they'll have that confidence. To be asking for this their needs, to be speaking up for their needs, right?
Yeah, true.
So and actually I want to also give a special shout out to Aseda.
Great.
For making sure that the space that you're working in right now, I don't know, and maybe I'll ask you this at the end of my statement.
Yes.
Is just unaweza fika hapa vizuri. The tools, the cameras, the microphones unajua kuzioperate nini. Kwanza hata jana, I don't know. Yesterday I saw like he was taking you guys to something else, and I was super impressed by that because alikuwa na whiteboard but alikuwa anasema kila kitu mpaka kwa full stop. So, you know, you can't say these things and always fanya nini braille kwa whiteboard. So he was making sure that you're really understanding what he's saying. And I really hope that that's the same for other people living with disabilities who are also working elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I guess my question to you that I said I was going to ask you is how your experience has been like as an adult who has to like pay bills and work in different places.
Yes.
Not here, of course, but like in the other places that you had to do maybe different tasks and whatnot, what that was like.
I really want to answer your question. Can you rephrase it like?
Yeah. So, umeget job ama umeapply for a job somewhere.
Yes.
Wakakubali.
So
what is that like? Like, just take me through it from your day one at work.
Okay, great. I think first thing first, inategemea na vitu what you are coming today. You are inatoka deliverable. Yeah. You are the roles that you are going to play. The roles you're going to play must be very clear, right? And usichanganye. So up to that extent, okay, I have not worked in some nini. I don't have that much experience. I just graduated the other day. I've only I think this was my first nini working space. And I really love it. I feel very accommodated. And there before maybe something that is going to affect me is done, I'm usually consulted. Wow.
Which is normal. Like, it should be the normal thing. Like, kama nafanya kitu yenye ina affect task yako.
So I think I've been well provided for in the space. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for that. That's a good answer.
Yes.
I love it.
Wow, I think that's a very good episode. Nasikia nimejibonga, guys. So maybe tukimalizia nini episode, is there something maybe you feel like ulikuwa kushare na sija ku prompt?
No, I think we've talked in length both in this podcast and outside.
Yes.
And sure, you can follow us at Baraza Media Lab. Shoot us any questions you may have on Kisisi Podcast. We're there to listen to you guys, to listen to your insights, to your feedbacks.
Great. Well said, Adosh. Kwa hii episode I'm very happy that for once nimejaribu kufanya like maybe watu wenye tuko na shida ya sight na nini the other side like tujaribu kusikizana. Yeah. So I think that's the
kusikizana is crazy.
So folks, until next time, it's goodbye for now.
Thank you guys. Bye.